Well, it's just a couple minutes now after 9 o'clock, so I guess it's time to get started with another business community support discussion. We do these each Thursday morning at 9 a.m. and we do these on the Main Street Fort Dodge Facebook page. You can also find them on the Alpha Media YouTube channel as well if you'd like to find them there. But we love it when you interact on Facebook. It really is a great place to ask your questions. You can do that live during the show, and if there's anything that spark some conversation, feel free to make a comment there on Facebook, and we'll answer it live as we go along if we're able. If not, we'll address it and see if we can't just make something up. No, not really. But we're going to have a good time. We're going to have some great discussions today and talk about some of the things that are affecting us as it comes to the retail landscape when it comes to COVID, because we're still working our way through it. I'm Jed Burns, the General Manager of Alpha Media. Joining us as regular contributors, as always, Cheryl O'Hearn with Spin Market Plus Digital, and also Chris Patrick with Main Street Fort Dodge. And if we're lucky, we get Kimberly Tiefenthaler with Iowa's SBDC, but they are busier than ever. And so, when we get her, we're happy to have her because she always shares great information with us. So good morning, Chris. Good morning, Cheryl.
Good morning.
So we've got a couple of great guests coming up today, and so let's talk about who we have on as guests. Joining us first and already on the show with us is Denise Condon-Weiss, Annie's Bridal and Dress Shop, joining us today. And so you know what? Retail's been hit hard, guys, and so a lot of these shops are finally opening back up.
Yes, very much so. And if they're not opening up, they're still they're embracing different ways of bringing people in with curbside deliveries, whatever online ordering, whatever they can do to subsidize. Even if they're opening, they're still pushing that out there as well. So we are seeing that. We're seeing aggressive marketing campaigns. You're seeing a lot of ads on sales and things going on, and so everybody's trying to make our fall as normal can be in this situation.
Well, there's some great information that has come out, and we're going to get to it a little bit later on in the show and share kind of what the feelings are amongst consumers right here in Fort Dodge, and some great information to be shared today with business owners and managers and those who are taking part. So I'm excited to get to that. But first, let's talk to Denise. Let's bring her on and talk about all things going on in the bridal world. Good
morning.
Good morning.
So tell us well, first of all, before we get started, we have to say publicly congratulations, I guess.
Thank you very much. Yes, I became a grandmother, so I'm very excited about that.
Well, congratulations, and
Thank
definitely
you.
get all those spoils in. So talk to us about the bridal shop and where have you guys been? Have you been closed? Are you opening back up? Where are you in the process of seeing customers right now?
We are opened back up. We were forced to close. Which we had a lot of, we stayed in contact with our brides through this, through the whole thing, because we had brides getting married in April and in May and in June, obviously. And so we were staying in contact with them. The brides that still got married during our closure time, we either had their dress done or had enough fittings in to finish their dresses. When we first opened, I think we were able to open up the first part of May, I believe, is when we opened up. And we are open only by appointment only, and that's kind of the way we have to do it to limit the number of people in our stores and to keep our customers, we feel, to keep our customers safe. We do have a lot of elderly that come into our store too. So we do require masks when you come into our store. There's just a lot of different protocols we have to take as far as trying on a dress and we let it hang for 24 hours before we let somebody else try it on. We do have a spray that we put in it to disinfect the insides of the dresses. So we have quite a few protocols that we adhere to. Yeah. And some of these things that we do, we've just learned from other stores. My sister, I'm in business with my sister. My sister and I both are co-owners of Annie's Bridal, and we belong to a Facebook group that has, we belong to two different groups. One is deals with bridal stores all over the world, not even just in the United States. And we also belong to a seamstress group that is all over the world. So, you know, it's kind of nice because we can bounce ideas off everybody, what you're doing there, what you're facing in your part of the world, what we're facing, and what different ideas that they've had. So, and that's we're kind of a pretty good group, and we kind of like try to stick together and adhere to the same rules. So brides will have the same experience going to different stores everywhere. So.
Yeah. So, I mean, I want to talk a little bit because you guys are taking some precautions and things like that, but I want to kind of go back, if we can, all the way to March. And I'd love to just kind of hear what it was like for you. I mean, because March was a scary time, and, you know, we're getting word that, you know, there's going to be closures and things like that. What was that like at that time when you finally get word that, no, you're going to have to close, and you've got brides that are, you know, counting on you? What was that like for you guys?
Well, I'm not going to lie. We were panicking a little bit because a lot of your fittings take place within those last 2 weeks of the wedding. And for somebody to say that it shouldn't is nonsense, because brides get nervous, they get, you know, stressed. They can lose weight in 2 weeks, and we've got a dress that doesn't fit. So yeah, when we got word out that, you know, we may be closing, we were calling the brides that we knew we absolutely had to get in and getting them in. We also, I want to say a big box store that was down in Des Moines had already closed. And so we got quite a few people from out of town and in Fort Dodge that at the last minute, I mean, literally that Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday come in to get a dress because they weren't going to get it at a big box store. So yeah, I'm not going to lie, we were panicking a little bit, and so were our brides.
Well, I imagine there were a number of brides going, am I even going to get my dress? I'm sure that's what,
yes.
I'm sure your phone was ringing with that question.
Yes. And the other thing is, of the brides that we, let's, you know, obviously, but for the June weddings and even the July and August weddings, we had most of those dresses. So we really encourage our brides to make sure that shop early enough that dress is in the hands, either in your hands or the bridal store or at the seamstress's hands, at least 3 months before your wedding. So we still had some that we hadn't received in, but all of our designers were staying in contact with us too. I think we had one designer, but it was the designer was more, we sell mother's dresses with this designer, but that was the only one that technically closed down. They still kept people in the office, knowing that, you know, people are panicking, like, is my bride going to make it? Am I going to get it? So we stayed in close contact with our designers on those aspects. So we knew that, you know, we were still going to get the dresses. So.
Yeah. Did all your brides move forward with their wedding on their scheduled dates, or did you have any delay?
I would say it's been about 50-50. June, in the beginning, April's always April and May are kind of your months leading up into the bridal season. Because especially in Iowa, you just don't know what the weather is going to be in April and May. We've had school closures in the beginning of May. So that's still an iffy time of year to get married. So June is usually when, you know, it really hits hard. And I know June was big for us. And I know just one specific weekend, we had 7 weddings or 7 dresses going out for one weekend. And all but 2 canceled, or I should say postponed to a later time. But then again, because by the time the end of June came around, our governor had opened everything at 50%. So some of our September or October brides, even November, or I think we had 3 different brides move their wedding date up to that weekend because their guest list wasn't a huge guest list, and they were able to get their venue for that weekend. So they were still able to have their full wedding at their, what they called half capacity, but that was the number of guests that they had anyway. So, and doing that is the reason they did that was because they were afraid everything was going to get shut back down again. So,
Right.
so yeah, so we had like for a couple weddings, we had 2 weeks notice. Yeah, I'm going to get married in 2 weeks. So we were working some long hours in the month of June. Let's just put it that way.
Well, it's, we always talk on this program, and we really enjoy talking with business owners, because what you have to do is really be nimble and be able to change on a moment's notice and change your business model and change your practices, just moment to moment. And that's in a regular time. In the time of COVID, it seems like it's even more so for you guys.
Yeah, COVID has really put a different spin on how you operate your business, and even how you treat people. Deb and I, we've always said we're huggers. When we meet, when we sell a dress to a bride or to a mother, or even if we just do the tuxes or the bridesmaids dresses or flower girls, there's so many different aspects of a wedding. And, it's like these people become family, because you see so much of them. And so it's hard for us when a bride leaves, or when when they say yes to their dress and we're telling our story and they ring Annie's bell and we've got everybody in the room crying, even me or us, and we can't hug anybody. So that for us has been very hard. And I know some people think, I can't believe you hug your customers, but we do.
That's part of being a small business.
Yeah, I think so too. That is, and we try to, like a lot of the vendors or a lot of the designers and stuff that we do, we love to work with new designers, love to help, get them up and going. The place, we have 2 different vendors that are people that we use for our tuxedos. One is a big box company, and the other one is a company. I mean, I guess you would consider that. I don't consider them big box, but they're a family-owned business just right out of Des Moines. So, that's why we like to, because of just the personalization that you get with your sales. So.
Sure. Well, we know you love your customers and want to take care of them, and so as you make these appointments and have people in the shop once again, making sure that they're safe is obviously a top priority. How did you even figure out the things that you needed to do? Because that's the thing that, for restaurants, it might be, cleaning the menus or wiping the menus or providing digital menus or all of those sorts of things. But there's no manual that says, how do you protect your customers in the bridal shop? So how do you go about figuring that out?
You're right. There is no manual. And I think we've kind of made it up a little as we went along. But again, when I told you we belong to this Facebook page of bridal shops, like I said, literally all over the world. And it has been so beneficial in our business and how we do business. And, just thinking of the little things, like we can't do bridal appointments really back to back, because it doesn't give us time to sanitize the rooms or get the dresses back on the shelves. So we're just spreading out our appointments as much as we can. Spraying down the door handles, wiping everything down. I mean, it's crazy. I would have never thought. I mean, even I had a mother in yesterday, and I went to reach for the door to open her dressing room door for her to go back in, and I had to pull back because I thought, no, I'm not supposed to touch the door she has. So it's just those little things I don't think that some people really think of. We do have sanitizer, in the back in the dressing rooms with the bride. We wipe down the thing every at least twice a day. We have believe it or not, we have a thing of pens with our logo on them and stuff. And we wipe those down after they've been used. We have a thing that we throw the dirty ones in and we put, and I don't know whether we're going overboard. I don't know. I don't know enough about this disease, nor do I think anybody else does on what should or shouldn't be done. Most of the time, when somebody uses a pin, we just tell them to take it, and they're very appreciative that they got a pin. So it's just little things, and I'm constantly spraying the door handle where people come in and out, on the outside too, because I know that at my house, just when I'm kind of diligent even at my own home, spraying down and wiping down the light switches and the refrigerator handles. And I mean, it's just me and my husband here now, but when I've got kids home for the weekend or something, I can be a freak when it comes to this kind of stuff. If I have to be.
Well, we're all trying to figure out what level of safety we put in place, right? And so it's understandable. We don't know.
That's just it. What is too much and what is not enough. I just feel, and I do know that our clients are very appreciative of everything that we do, and that, and we've had more people just really be so thankful that, well, thank you for this. So, I mean, I don't know what else to say on that subject, but other than, I don't know whether we go overboard. I don't know. And I don't know if I'll ever know.
Right. Great point. Well, I mean, so can you talk to us a little bit about your impressions of the wedding industry as a whole right now? Because I just got to wonder what all of these lockdowns have done to the industry. Are people getting engaged at the same rate, or are people stuck inside their homes and they're like, I'm never doing this? I mean, what's going on with that?
Bridal sales for the dresses are down. They're starting to pick up a little bit, but we've still got brides telling us, that if they did get engaged, they just don't want to schedule anything right now, just for the fear of what's going to happen. And I guess a better person to ask for that are some of the people that, run the venues here in town. Are they being rented out? I don't know. We just have brides that are just, just not planning anything yet. They're just going to wait to plan something. And I think some of them have the mentality that, which is good, we have the rest of our lives to be married. We can just take this time just to slow down. So, I think the best people to really would know more about that probably are the people that run the in the hospitality field, or if they're getting, booked for next season. So, and I think too, people knowing, because I know with COVID, people were getting, deposits back and that kind of stuff. So I'm assuming, places are still adhering to that, but I don't know. I know we have lost one of our designers went out of business because of the COVID. I mean, they were kind of, I think, on the fence to begin with, and so the COVID just put them over. So, and then every spring and fall, we go to market and we actually look at the new designs and the new lines that have come out. And we like to go we go to Chicago for that. And we like to go for the main fact, we're kind of big on how a dress is structured and how it's made. And, if it's sustainable to wear for the whole day and be comfortable, and just different things like that. And they canceled in March. And again, the fall one is going on in places like right now and next month, and nobody's going. Some of the designers aren't even going. So they're all going to take a hit because no one's really buying, because if I can't touch and feel something to look at it when you're paying that kind of money for something, especially for a gown, it's not something you're going to buy just over the internet and just look at the pictures of it. So everybody in the whole, everybody's taking a hit in the bridal market.
Yeah, I can imagine that that's true. So for moving forward, I mean, you are open and you are taking appointments. So is that what you would suggest brides do, is simply just give you a call and set up an appointment?
We do. We when they call in, we actually want them to call to make an appointment, just because, you know, we have guidelines and we can tell, and we can put those on our Facebook page. We can put that on our page, but no one ever, unless they actually hear it from a voice, they may read it, but they'll walk in the store or not have a mask, not have the proper undergarments, not come on time. I mean, just these little things. So we always just make sure that, you know, when we speak to them, you know, to let them know that we want you to wear a mask. We are, and again, we are limiting the number of people that come in. We don't want, you know, we're looking at maybe 2 to 3, which most stores, like I said, most bridal stores have done that too, limited their guests that come in, which makes everything easier anyway, because when you get these big entourages, it's sometimes doesn't make for a pleasant day for the bride. Even though they want that huge entourage, it doesn't make for a pleasant day. So we're limiting that also.
Well, look, Denise, I've seen Say Yes to the Dress, and here's what I know. Okay, here's what I know as a man. When you bring 10 people, you're just going to be disappointed because not everybody's going to agree. And then the one that you love, you didn't get agreement on. So you're better off bringing your mom and your sister anyway.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. But some girls just still want that big, you know, that big entourage. But and like I said, I don't know. I just, you know, there's a couple bridal stores that we in the state of Iowa that we're close with. If we, because I know we've had some gals get married and they tried to dress on, and it was maybe, instead of just one size too small or 2 sizes too small, because here's the thing, you can't really let out a wedding dress. There's just not a lot there to let out. So we try to work closely with other bridal stores on, do you have this dress in the store? They want to get married in 4 weeks or whatever. So far, knock on wood, we have not been able to deliver. So
that's good. All right. Well, so thank you so much for coming in and sharing all the things that you guys are doing to keep your customers safe, and just letting us behind the scenes to see kind of what it was like in your industry. Because I know that the people who go back and watch this, and there will be, you know, thousands of people watch these over the course of a week, and they just really enjoy seeing behind the scenes and knowing what's going on in your industry. So thanks so much, and thanks for sharing everything that you're doing to keep your customers safe.
You're so welcome. Thanks for inviting us on. We appreciate it.
All right.
You're welcome.
Thanks so much, Denise. Thank you for staying in downtown.
Yeah,
Fort Dodge, too,
we do like the downtown area. You know, I think that's a better, you know, venue, I guess you could say, for us. So.
All right. Thanks.
Well, we're glad. Thank you.
And enjoy that grandbaby.
I will.
All right. Bye-bye. Yeah, just it's neat looking behind the scenes, because we don't think of those things all the time. You know, how do you keep your customers safe, and what are the things that go into you know, getting a dress, and our brides keeping their date? Are they moving them up and saying, I need to get married in 2 weeks, get my dress here, right? So there's just a lot that goes into that.
Well, and not being able to try on a wedding dress or anything, because those sizes aren't always accurate. There's all those fittings, and then of course trying to be sanitize them afterwards. There's a lot of work, and I know a lot of people don't think about those little details, or the detail, like she said, about being gracious and opening up the dressing room door for somebody to go walk back in. You just don't do that.
you think you're doing, you know, something helpful and kind, and you are. But it's just something we have to hit pause on right now.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, let's take a look at some of these numbers that we've been looking at as they come in across the area. And what I love about this is these are Fort Dodge numbers. So we've got quite a few slides here. And Chris, if you don't mind, walk us through this poll that was conducted, who it went out to, and what we found.
Absolutely. So this poll was actually constructed by Main Street, Iowa, and the Downtown Partners. And so this poll was given out to all 55 Main Street communities in the state. And each community will be using this data individually to help gauge when businesses should be opening, how the businesses need to pivot into this new era of retail. On a statewide level, these numbers actually did go to Debbie Durham and the governor. So some of those state decisions will be based on the data that was collected through this poll. So the first question was about how long did it take a consumer to come back to a dining or a restaurant or an eatery once they reopened. And you'll see those numbers, they're kind of interesting. 41% said that they did right away. And then the next number was, that 1 to 2 months. So a lot of people did jump back into supporting local restaurants and diners, almost immediately. So if we move on to the next slide. It talks about shopping. And then again, you'll see that people went back to shopping right away or shopping in a small business. So we did not have the huge numbers that we were looking for on our poll. And our poll was customized for Fort Dodge. We were really looking at that retail base and then also coming to outdoor events. As Main Street, we plan a lot of things in the Carl King Park and throughout the downtown, and we wanted to make sure that the community was really ready to embrace outdoor events. So that dining experience when you're away from home, you'll see that 35% want regular dine-in service, but the main answer was outdoor dining, sidewalks, and patios. So Main Street has been working with the city to amend some of those ordinances to allow for outdoor dining. We have about 4 restaurants in the downtown area. 2 of them are outside the Main Street district that have the ability for outdoor seating on their own property. The rest really do need to utilize that sidewalk. From there, you'll see the answers are a little bit more scattered. Curbside service, of course, restaurants want to continue that at 67%. And then the next answer was until the COVID is over or a vaccine is introduced. And that one I don't think is too surprising. People are social and people want to be able to patron all those restaurants in our community. And as the local businesses progress through the reopening and discovery phase, this question was, how much regular shopping do you expect to do online with local retailers? The top answer was up to 20%, and then the next answer was 20 to 40%. And really, there's only a few people that said no, they weren't going to be doing any online shopping with retailers.
So, this just goes to show something that we've been talking about literally since the beginning of COVID, since March. We've been talking about, retailers need to be getting that online presence ready to go. And this goes to show that, you've got a high percentage of people, both answer number 1 and 2, say they're going to be doing, between 20 and 40% of their shopping online. As a retailer, you've got to be prepared for that. And so thankfully there are some options. If you're still, getting up to speed on that, it's not too late, but gosh, you really do need to get moving on it quickly.
That's right. And if people do not want to have their own online presence, go through the shopiowa.com site. It is still free for retailers across Iowa, not just in a Main Street district, until June of 2021. The process is really pretty easy. You fill in a brief application, you get approved to make sure you are a brick and mortar store, not selling product out of your garage. And there's nothing wrong with that, but that's not what this grant from IEDA is for. And then take a picture of your product, make a short description, and put a price point on it, and you're ready to go. And if you're not really ready to step into that, again, using your Facebook and your social media platforms, posting pictures of the inside of your store, maybe the customers that are in there purchasing something, really it's a call to action. And we do still have a few businesses in the downtown that are not online. And we continue to stress that, and Cheryl can speak to that even more than I can. It is critical at this point if you want to stay in business.
Really, and if anything, the Shop Iowa is a perfect example, but Google My Business. I can't believe the number of businesses that still have not gone in. There's no cost. Go in, get that information out there, because that is how they find you. And you can put all the signs in the world out front of your building, but people aren't, they're looking online to find you. They're not driving by your building. They are looking online to find you.
Yeah.
That's right.
And so I just can't imagine losing 40% of my business and being able to keep the doors open. That would be a really big struggle. So I just think that's important, an important slide that I just really want people to notice. Like, 20 to 40% of business moving online is a significant portion, and so just keep that in mind. Okay, so let's keep moving through this, because I know there are a few more on here that we probably want to talk about.
Yep, I will try and go fast. So talking about social distance guidelines in place, and then outdoor events. And this one, you either have, you've got 26% saying I will or did start going to these kind of events right away, or that people want to wait for more than 9 months. So when you have that large range of where people are comfortable, the next one is 3 to 5 months. That's 23.5% of people wanting to wait. It's very hard for organizations and businesses that like to hold those outdoor events. Ron Grebner with Riverhops Brewing, he had held his bike race, and they had 160 people come out for the bike ride throughout the community, and then entertainment at the brewery. Again, social distancing, being outside. So yeah, it's really interesting that there's such a large dichotomy in those answers.
Yeah, and I think that, there's just such a difficulty figuring out, do I hold my event or not? And that's sort of universal, because there's a lot of fundraisers that haven't happened, or looking out into the future, that they're saying maybe we don't plan this event. We here at the radio station, we've been doing that dance as well, canceling a number of events, and our partners have canceled a number of events going through the summer. But then you have to look out and say, well, okay, what about next year and through Christmas? And many of those events, you're still on the bubble about, and this graph doesn't really help a lot, because you've still got a lot of people who say, yeah, I'll go, but you also have a lot of people who are clearly uncomfortable with large social gatherings right now, and that's just kind of a sign of kind of where we're at, and something that we have to deal with as we move forward.
It really is. We were hoping that this graph would give Main Street some guidance. We have 3 events planned here in the next few weeks. Next Friday, we have an outdoor event on the square called Picnic in the Park, where we've hired Gabriel Alves to come and play, and people can bring a luncher and their lunch and just listen from 11:30 to 1. Social distancing, we're doing everything we can to make that a safe event. Doing something similar on September 11th with Sundays in the park. And then our big event, Farm to Fork, that is what is our fundraiser. We have decided to keep that going, but we've changed the way everything will be conducted during that event. So let's look at the next one. Oh, these are indoor events. I think maybe I missed one. Sorry. So our poll about thinking long-term and what kind of businesses do you want to see in the downtown? Again, we do have a bakery that is coming in on 15 North 11th Street. So I thought that was great that we had 44% wanting a bakery in the downtown. Unfortunately, we have lost Bloomers coffee shop in the downtown. So there's definitely a need for entrepreneurs that want to open that kind of business. The bakery is not serving coffee. They're just really a bakery. An Asian restaurant. You'll see casual dining and eating. Yeah, it was pretty interesting. And then down a Mexican or Italian restaurant was probably the 4th one in this slide. And the only one that didn't get any numbers at all was none. So we know that people do have options in the downtown.
That's great. And it looks like there's another facade restoration project that's coming up.
Well, there is. So we did get these great full color renderings from Berglund and Cram, and they were placed in the windows of all of the buildings, or most of the buildings, in the facade project. The target area is between 12th Street and 10th Street on Central Avenue. This is 1101 Central Avenue, where Hardee's Caddy Shack is, and you'll see that that building is going to have a full facelift on the front of the building facing north, new windows, and then, like I said, a new storefront for the Caddy Shack. And then all three sides of the building will be repointed. This is the building that's had so much brick damage falling off into the alley, etc. So all of that is being reworked. Here is Joe Gilbert's building. He has 3 business spaces on the building. This used to be a barber shop. And you'll see this is quite the transformation from really a cement and lumber kind of storefront to that traditional glass front storefront with brick. Excited to see what that will look like. And then we'll have a nice sign panel as you move forward.
Like an awning will be added as well. And I think those awnings really do add a lot to it.
I do too. I think it really brings a lot of character. This is the building just to the north. This is the Brass Monkey. And as you'll see again, a really big transition. Now, they did not want to go with glass windows because it is a bar. So there has a potential to have something happen. So they went with more of a stucco or an ephes design with sign panels up above, but sticking with those colors to make it look more traditional. And then here is Fireside Lounge, again, another lounge or a bar. This building really needed some structural help. We have a lot of loose and almost ready to fall brick on that 3rd floor. So they're going to be tearing that brick on the top of the building down to the sills on the 2nd floor, and then restructuring that brick, relaying it so it's going to be held in tight, and that building can stand for another 100 years. So if anybody has any questions on these pictures, they can contact the city or myself. If you have any questions on the project, I am the liaison for the building owners and the construction company, and that is Cornerstone that's doing this. Again, lots of cool changes in these buildings. That's 1018 Central Avenue, where Dungeons and Dodgers is. And you will see paint colors changing, also reworking that storefront a little bit for Ethan, and repointing. We have a lot of damage along that top cornice piece, and so that will be repaired. So I'm not sure which slide is next, but we should be, there we go. I think this is one of my favorite ones. This is 1004 Central Avenue, and they're going to be taking off that steel siding, changing out that storefront. So we have a little bit better windows in there, dark bronze clad. And then we have the brick coming back. You'll see the knee wall in that picture, and then a sign panel. So much, much different. I think this one does not have an awning in this rendering, but in the future, an awning could sure be put on. And I think it adds a lot of character to these buildings. And Mary Kay. Mary Kay's Gifts and More, just next door to that building. Really different treatment to open those windows back up, and the transom windows that you see next to that awning. So you'll be able to see further into her store. It also gives her more natural light to show off her products. So yeah, really excited to see what this looks like in the end.
Chris, there's a lot of projects that are coming up on the schedule. And for those who don't know, walk us through, how are these being done? Is there grant money that's available for this, for the business owners? Are the business owners footing the bill themselves? How is this being done on such a grand scale all at once?
Sure. So this project was a community development block grant through the Iowa Economic Development Authority. And the city of Fort Dodge applied for the $500,000 grant. And the way it works, it's matching funds to the state money. So the city's contribution is $250,000, and then the property owners then make up the last quarter, which is another $250,000. Now, this project is coming in just under that $1 million mark. So we're really excited about that. Cornerstone Construction was the lowest bid, $870,000. So the way these projects are managed is Cornerstone is the GM or the general manager of the project contractor. And then right now we've got Rossner tuck pointing, and he's going to go through and do all the tuck pointing on the building. That has to be done first, because if you put in any carpentry or any new windows, when they start grinding out that grout and mortar, very easily could be doing some damage to those new products. So repointing comes first. Then we have the window systems coming in, and then finally that general contracting and all the carpentry piece. And
what sort of
timeline.
Yeah.
We're thinking the same, Ted. Sorry, didn't mean to talk over you. The timeline, they still think they'll get done in December.
Wow.
And it really is dependent on the weather. You can't repoint, can't add masonry work when it's raining out, or when it gets below 40 degrees at night. So they have a lot of work to do before winter.
Yeah, that's quite a bit going on.
It's really impressive, the amount of work being done and the dollars. I mean, you can't go on any block downtown right now and not see scaffolding or something going on. And so those people that are saying there's nothing going on downtown, just come down and see what's happening and the new businesses that are going to be moving into these new storefronts. Because we all know anytime an area is improved and redeveloped, people start looking again. And we're looking for those unique businesses to come back to our downtown area.
Well, that's good. We also have about 12 other projects in the works. 5 of those are active construction projects where those property owners are actually doing those projects with their own money without any other funding. And then also the Development Corporation of Fort Dodge is working on 3 projects that are doing forgivable facade loans. So lots and lots going on besides the Clock Tower Square.
Right. Yeah, exactly. And thank you, Chris, for all your hard work, because I know it is trying to herd those cats in the right direction to get them all to understand what goes on in a redevelopment project like this. I know it takes a lot of work and a lot of leadership on your part as well, and everybody cooperating and working together on it.
Well, I think everybody realizes it's a team effort, and if we don't pull together to really reinforce the downtown and rejuvenate it, it's going to just continue to have more blight. And that's not what we want to see. Main Street's about changing the culture and making it friendlier downtown, and having great buildings as part of that.
Well, it's definitely making progress. You can definitely see not only is work being done, but the work that has been done already is definitely helping. So great work down there. One more slide on here that we want to show, and this talks about employee 401ks that are going on.
Yeah, I don't. This came over on one of my feeds the other day, and I think it really illustrates the number of things that COVID is issues that it's creating, I guess, is probably the polite way of saying it, and the problems that are following along with it. And I don't think people are realizing that how it could impact their 401k, because if these businesses that they work for are not seeing the profits and revenue that they are, one of the first areas that they're going to address is matching or providing into your contributions into your 401k. And they are predicting now that this is going to be a $60 billion loss potentially in 2021.
Wow. Yeah. So, I mean, just making sure that those are funded is difficult in good times. And so, when businesses are finding themselves struggling, obviously that those things can certainly happen. So, well, what a great show today. It was great to have Denise on and share some of that information going on with Annie's Bridal Shop as well. And next week we'll do it again. We'll have another great show, 9 a.m. on Thursday.
Right. Yes, our focus will be on agriculture, and I think we're going to talk about farm to fork, and we've got a couple of great speakers coming on as well. So we're looking forward to that. Talking about agriculture and in our area, and we're right in our area, we're going to be looking at seeing those combines going here in probably just a couple of weeks because it's dry and it'll be an early fall.
Yeah, I think that's the case. Well, thank you to everybody who's a contributor in this. Of course, myself, market manager here at Alpha Media, Kimberly Tiefenthaler with Iowa's SBDC, unable to make it today, but we always look forward to it when she can make it. Also from Main Street Fort Dodge, Chris Patrick, the executive director there, and Cheryl O'Hearn, marketing director for Spin Market Plus Digital. If you do have any questions, of course, you can always ask those directly on the Main Street Fort Dodge Facebook page, but you can also send us an email if you've got something that you'd like us to cover, or you'd like to be on the show and share what's going on in your industry. We'd love to have you. Send that email to info@mainstreetfd.org, and we'll be sure to respond. Or if you just have questions that you need answered or help for your business, that's why we're here, is to get you pointed in the right direction and answer those questions that we have. Cheryl, Chris, thank you so much for sharing with us today, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Great.
Well,
Thank you. Have a great weekend, everybody. Bye.
All right.
Bye.